Imposter syndrome is not going to block our blessings in 2023, okay? Long time no see. This video was supposed to go out way earlier than it probably will. It's funny because I saw so many like reset 2023 videos. I had a bunch of that kind of content planned out. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I was not feeling anything that I was filming. I was finding an excuse for everything that I had filmed, being so nitpicky, like the lighting is bad, I'm speaking so weird, like I'm not showing my true personality, blah, 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 everything like that. And so it's so funny because I would get to like the final editing stages of a video and I would be like, nope, can't put that out. And I mean, I personally don't want to put out bad content that I'm not proud of, you know, because I'm the face of the channel. If I put out something that I don't like and people don't like it, I'm the one who has to face the backlash. Backlash meaning me feeling very doubtful about my abilities. Which leads into the topic of today's video, imposter syndrome. Raise your hand if you have also been victimized by imposter syndrome. Honestly, when I think about all of the goals and all the things that I have wanted to do, a lot of them have been blocked by imposter syndrome. It's actually kind of embarrassing to think about, but in order to really grow from that imposter syndrome that I'm always feeling, I have to acknowledge the fact that I've second-guessed myself. I've been very doubtful of my abilities. I've known that I've dealt with imposter syndrome before I knew what the term was, so like since high school. Especially because in high school, like my last 2 years of high school, I was in the IB program. I was in a program that was mostly full of white people. I was usually like one of two or oftentimes like the only black person in my classes, which, you know, when you're like 16, 17, coming into yourself, I feel like a lot of social justice movements were springing up around that time. So I was really learning about what it means to be a black person in America. When you're just in that environment, it's not fun. You just feel like an outsider. You feel like you shouldn't be here. But what are you gonna do when you feel like you don't have anyone else you can really relate to, you know? Especially during those pivotal moments, like being 16, 17, becoming an adult, transitioning into college life, all of that. And I thought it would get better in college. When you go to a PWI, you often learn that you will feel like an imposter regardless of if you were the top of your class in high school. I was not the top of my class in high school, but I mean, I did good grades, whatever. When you feel like you are one of one in a sea of people who don't look like you, who share like no similar interests as you, similar experiences, you're just gonna feel like you don't belong. It has also carried into my professional life as, you know, a young 20-something in the city, building my career. These are definitely the common ways that imposter syndrome has manifested for me, the signs that I know that I'm feeling like an imposter. So the example that relates most to me currently in like my professional life is when I don't speak up and share an idea because I feel like I'm an idiot. Like I use the word idiot because it's really that severe in my brain. I'm just like, you're dumb, don't say that. Like even if I have the urge to speak up because I know like the idea would be interesting, it would be helpful to like a communication strategy. I work in communications. I just keep my mouth closed, and you know what always happens? Someone else says a similar point and it's applauded and it's like added into the concept. And I'm just like, I had something similar in my head, but because I was feeling this negative self-doubt, negative self-speech, feeling like an imposter, I didn't say anything. And I feel like in the work life, not speaking up when you do have something to share that is beneficial to the company or to the whatever project you're working on can be a bit detrimental to like your performance evaluations, because you can come off as not communicative or not really engaged or involved, which is not fair to us, but I feel like that's how it can come off to your HR person. That one, I feel like it bites me in the butt all the time. It's just like, girl, just speak up, just say it. Even if it's dumb, just say it. I feel like in college and in the work life, people are always sharing ideas all the time, even if the idea has nothing to do with the project or what you're talking about. People are always sharing their thoughts. And so why can't I? Why shouldn't I share my thoughts? Why do I feel like I'm dumb and I am not an expert, or I don't have enough expertise on this topic to speak about it? As a creator, especially as a small creator, you know, I'm trying to build up my content creation platform, whatever. I feel like this is super relatable to the whole reason why I didn't post any videos in January on YouTube. Like, I was posting TikToks and like shorts and reels and stuff. I just did not feel like my YouTube content was good enough. That's it, point blank period. I felt like a fraud. I felt like, no, like, why am I doing this? I don't have a camera, I'm using my phone. I have terrible lighting, like the lighting in my room is so bad, and I just would get so irritated and nitpicky about everything. It's so easy to feel like you're a fraud when you're starting out because you're not seeing the engagement that you want to see, or you were just being so hard on yourself. That's really it. Just beating yourself down, comparing yourself to people who have like thousands of dollars of worth of equipment for their videos, people who've been doing this for years. Like, it's the comparison, it's the self-doubt, it's the negative self-speech, like I said, all coming and coalescing into one and making you feel like a fraud. If you are a freelancer or you just do like creative stuff, you might relate to this one as well, or an entrepreneur. There have been times where a client or a potential client has come up to me and I've done like a discovery call, whatever, and we've talked about the project that they want me to work on with them, and they ask me about my rates. There's so many times that I have lowered my rate, or I've given like a smaller rate because I feel like I'm young and I'm new to this and they're not gonna pay me this much, when in reality there's so many freelancers out here and so many entrepreneurs who charge like what they're worth, or like a lot more than what they're worth, and people will pay for it. And this last one was definitely me in high school and college. Certain points in life, like, you will feel like this even when you're older. I don't know, I feel like when you're older you're a lot wiser, but sometimes it's not the case. Trying to fit into circles that you're not meant to be in, okay? Look, I'm gonna keep it real. We're not supposed to be in every circle, every group that comes our way, okay? Not everybody is meant for you. Not everything is meant for you. That things that you are trying to achieve aren't meant for you. No. What I'm saying is, if you feel like you're in a friend group, for example, you don't relate to them, you don't feel like you have any similar interests, similar hobbies, anything like that, why are you forcing yourself to stay in that position when you literally don't relate to these people and you don't really like them? And I've done that so many times as a teenager, especially because I wanted to be liked by everybody. I wanted to be liked by like certain people, like I wanted to have certain friends, I wanted to be in certain friend groups. When I would get into these groups, I would always feel like I should be doing something else. I should be with other people when I'm with them. Oftentimes, like, when you're trying to mold or fit yourself into something that you're not, you really do feel like you're an imposter when you don't have to be in that situation. If you're in groups where you feel like you have to pretend to be someone else in order to enjoy the company of those people, babes, leave. You don't need to be there, please. Stop putting your brain through these like dueling matches. Honestly, like, the logic of imposter syndrome literally makes no sense when you think about it, especially if you're feeling like an imposter in the workplace, because look, your company would not hire you for this position if you weren't capable. For example, if you work in communications, you have to do like writing samples, share writing exercises, blah blah blah, with HR before they hire you. And so they see like what you can do. So they wouldn't have given you a job offer if you couldn't write. You know what I mean? This is what I have to tell myself every day. Like, bro, you literally know what you're doing. You've literally shown that you can write, like you can do communications. They wouldn't waste their money on you. Like, you know what I mean? The logic behind feeling like an imposter in those situations is like, my mind cannot grasp it, but then I continue to fall into those same patterns and habits. You know, it could also be potentially microaggressions. I remember I was on LinkedIn and I saw some people talking about how Black people often feel a lot more imposter syndrome in college and school settings and the workplace. Sometimes it's imposter syndrome, but sometimes it can be a case of microaggressions, and you know, every case is different. But if you're feeling this way, definitely look and analyze your situations, analyze the context of it, and see, like, is it Is it just the negative self-doubt in your head, or is it microaggressions? But I know for me, it's mostly a case of my imposter syndrome stemming from my insecurities, because I have been an insecure girl. Not me sounding so proud of that, but I've been insecure for a long time. I will say though, like these past few years, I'm not as insecure as I used to be, but we all got our insecurities that we deal with, because that's just what makes us human. The only way you can overcome imposter syndrome outside of dealing with insecurities is getting comfortable with discomfort. That's the commonality of all of those situations that I shared, those examples. In some cases, especially with the work example and the social media creation example, I was in positions where I felt uncomfortable. At work, I felt uncomfortable speaking up. And honestly, like it's really hard to feel comfortable speaking up if you're more of like an introverted person, especially in the work setting. And oftentimes if you're the only Black person, or if there's not a lot of diversity, like a lot of thoughts could be spiraling in your head, because you just don't know if they are looking at you as a Black person or as a coworker who knows what they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of discomfort in these situations, but you have to get comfortable with it, because if you're trying to grow, growing is not an easy path, okay? It's not steady. It's not like you're walking a straight line. You have to go up an incline to grow, to reach success. And it's hard. You're gonna feel the punches, the blows, but the sticking point is that those who are able to really fulfill their goals and fulfill their passions, when they get into places of discomfort, they don't back down. When the going gets tough, they don't back down. They roll with the punches. If you get punched real hard and you get knocked out, you get back up. You have to just keep working hard, and no matter how difficult the journey gets, if you're super passionate about whatever it is that you want to do, you have to keep going forward. Negativity will always be here in life. We have our yin and we have our yang. We have our positivity, we have our negativity. You have to have balance in life, and you have to have both. And so you have to be able to learn how to manage the negativity, not let it affect you. The negative self-talk that you hear in your head is going to actualize into real negative talk from trolls, from people around you, from the internet, whatever. So you might as well, this is me talking to me, but also to you, you might as well, girl, you might as well, babes, babe, you might as well learn how to deal with it now before you reach whatever you're trying to reach. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in my next one.